99.5 FM WBAI New York. Welcome back to another episode of Black Seinfeld, the show about nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Greetings and salutations, the one and only Trinidadi Panamanian Poppy, Rude Boy, Top Gunner, Sakpanyamada, Giovanni England. Hello everyone. Hi.
Yo, what's going on? It's Bash Discuss, recording live from LA. Gio is in Brooklyn. What's going on, folks?
Yo, Bastion, my mans, my left ear loves you, but my right ear, I don't know, man. I can't hear you through my right ear.
Is something wrong with my vocals?
Like, nothing's wrong with the vocals, but for some reason, right, your vocals right now, I can only hear you from my left headphone. It's like my left earbud is like, I hear you, but my right earbud, I don't know, man.
Okay, something on my side I gotta fix?
Yeah.
Okay
then. But anyways, man, how are you doing, bro? It's good to see you again. I'm liking the hat. I'm liking the look again. Is that a peach sweater today?
Yeah, it's a peach sweater.
Okay, well, for those of you who do not know, you should know Black Seinfeld is brought to you today by BlackSeinfeld.com, where we get our latest and greatest episodes. Also, you can take a listen to Black Seinfeld on all of our podcasting platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, Audible, Podomatic. Basically, wherever podcasting platforms are available, Black Seinfeld has their hand in that. Also, if you'd like to send us any messages, please go to blackSeinfeldNY@gmail.com. Send us a question, send us a comment, send us some music on your own will. We do listen to them, but more than likely we don't like them, to be very honest with you. So step your game up, people. Step your game up. I believe in y'all. I do believe in you.
As I said, I'm recording live from LA. How's my voice sounding?
You sound a lot better now, my man.
Okay. All right. Just to talk real quick, there's an interesting feature because I'm recording live from LA. I want the quality to be a little bit better. Got this new mic. I want it to sound crisp. So in the settings, there's something for the music professional audio, and I click stereo. And I think that's what cuts off left and right because it's not supposed to be stereo unless I put like a jack left and right.
Oh,
so
shoot.
I unchecked it. That's
Dang.
Why. So that was on me.
It's okay. There's a jack for left and right?
No, it's like a stereo mode. So let's say we're doing a music show, right? And I'm DJing. This mode is designed just for that. So I could DJ through Zoom.
Oh, whoa. Yo, you got to do that one day.
No, if we're going to do a music episode, I'll literally just cut everything up and just send it to you.
Oh, fair enough.
You ever listen to Frank Ocean's like Blonded Radio? Or if you ever play GTA 5 for the listeners, when you listen to the Blonded FM,
No.
like the way he cuts in and does a little conversation with Vegan, or they could put like a little skit and just move it on and play like some like really dope music to fit the mood.
Sort of like OVO Fest? I mean, not OVO Fest, OVO Radio, OVO Sound?
Probably, but I always thought that like Blonded Radio had a little bit more character. That's why.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
It comes with the rarity of Frank Ocean. So maybe he'll drop a new record, and he does, and he plays that one record, maybe different versions of it for a whole hour. So that was the good old days when he used to do that.
Hey man, you've got a long time. He hasn't dropped a record in what, 3 years now? I mean, DHL came out 2019, so it's been a hot like 3 years.
It's been a hot minute. So
yeah,
it is a funny experience being a Frank Ocean fan when you have other artists that just drop projects whenever they want. And it's like, yeah, if only. My guy, he's just too perfect, too perfect.
I completely understand where you're coming from because my guy, he trends every 3 days on Twitter nonstop. And it's always a fake out because once you see Kendrick Lamar trending, I immediately get my hopes up because I'm like, okay, maybe this is the day we get a new Kendrick track because why is this man trending? And then all it is, oh, Kendrick Lamar is one of the few artists that hasn't released any music, but he can still trend, making Kendrick one of the most anticipated artists to drop, even though he hasn't dropped anything since 2018 with with the Black Panther record, but he also did a verse on the Baby Keem record last year, but we still haven't gotten any real new Kendrick music. That's all it's been for the past months. Just that's how it's been on Twitter.
It does have to do with who you follow, but it is something wrong with like the Twitter algorithm, in my opinion. And there's a constant need. If you like something enough, you just keep getting it over and over again. So there's a problem I have with my Twitter, which is similar to what you're going through, where you see a topic trend just because you like it. So I tend to like different hip hop stuff, but the people I like, I guess they like other people's stuff too, or their followers follow other people. Hence, the algorithm's going to show me these terrible hot takes from these. They're designed to be terrible because it's all about impressions, right?
Of course.
And now it trends on my timeline, even though I don't follow them, but it will trend under hip hop and music.
Same.
Trend under Kanye, maybe trend under Frank. You know,
definitely
the worst Frank. And that's what you get. I think you just
get
the
like
same
the exact
worst
thing too, because it's always so like this hip hop kid, who always tweets out his like favorite hip hop songs, hip hop albums, hip hop tracks, and I don't have a problem with his takes because he's young. Like the first time he's heard Kanye West was the Graduation album, so I'm like, oh, okay, you just young. So a lot of takes don't bother me on Twitter because I just assume a lot of the stuff that I get from those hip hop takes are just they're young kids. So I'm like, all right, I can't get mad that you like YoungBoy, like he's your favorite rapper. Like I can't be mad at you. Like I get it, it's fine. When I was young, YoungBoy would probably be my favorite rapper. But when I was young, freaking Lil Wayne or 50 Cent was my favorite rapper. So I get it, it's fine. So I don't necessarily, give crap to the younger generation on their musical hip hop taste because again, it's all about timeline. When you grew up, what you were raised on, and the younger generation, they grew up more around the internet than we did. You know what I'm saying? When we were young, I know Bash, you didn't watch TV like that. Television was still a heavy thing, which is why you're still a TV guy. But when it comes to these kids nowadays, Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, they started dying out. Cartoon Network died out a little bit, but they had their resurgence. But YouTube became the new Nickelodeon, you know what I'm saying? That became the new way of entertainment and streaming. So, and then, they didn't have LimeWire. They didn't understand the risk that it took to download LimeWire and download all these Lil Wayne mixtape records, okay? They had no idea, okay? They don't know anything about having a family computer and risking that family computer to download your favorite records off of LimeWire and then Trojan virus. Huh?
Name a record. Name a record.
Once the drugs are gone, I feel like
what
dying.
song is that?
I feel like dying, Lil Wayne. I feel
that's what you
dying.
destroyed the computer, the home computer with it?
Oh, bruh. Yes.
For me, it was
Canon, frickin' all of those Wayne mixtape records. Wheezy F baby, the motherfucking hotter. This is all my.
Really?
My name is Harry Potter. You remember those
I didn't
tracks?
do LimeWire during that era. I was done with LimeWire around that time.
Oh, you went just straight to iTunes?
No, it was straight hip hop blogs and just downloaded it straight from the website, which you can't do anymore at the first year because they all got in trouble at the same time.
True. Well,
but
that
when
Pip
I
is still a thing.
No, that Pip is different. It's designed straight for like downloading.
Right.
I mean, like if you went on Two Dope Boys, they would literally put like new song leak and right underneath the article is the song to click to download.
Ooh.
Now it's just new song leak and that's it. And then you have to kind of go somewhere else to find it.
Twitter.
So that's after. No, this is before Twitter was the thing too.
Oh, I thought you were talking about now. My bad.
No. This is back then. I'm talking about 2009, 2010, 2011.
Oh, okay.
So, and LimeWire for me
different.
was 2007, 2006.
Right.
That's when I had a family, a home computer for everybody.
That's when I Feel Like Dying came out.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. It wasn't later. Okay. No, it was there.
I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening to Lil Wayne then. I was listening to Lil Wayne by like 2008, by like Carter 3. Okay. Going back to Dedication and stuff.
Fair.
But Ludacris, Georgia. I heard that. I watched it on BET and I heard it on the radio and I thought it was the best song ever. And it took me days to find it on LimeWire because they're all fake. I don't know how many viruses I downloaded that time.
Oh, man.
It's because the hook was on point, like the Georgia.
Yes, that was the Ray Charles sample.
Yeah, Ray Charles sample. I saw the Ray Charles movie, and I also heard Gold Digger with Jamie Foxx, and I heard Georgia. It's like, this is it. This is fire. This is how you sample.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, LimeWire, FrostWire, just two incredible things you have to go through to understand how to torrent in today's day and age.
FrostWire.
But now torrenting is a little bit frowned. No, it's always frowned upon, but you don't necessarily have to go towards that direction due to how streaming services work.
That is true.
But now there's too many, so but I don't want to talk too much.
That's fine. But there's also now we're starting to see again exclusivity when it comes to music now. Okay, freaking Black Star, after a 20-year plus hiatus. All right, they're finally dropping some new music, allegedly. They dropped a new single. I have not listened to the single yet, but the album is exclusively only going to be available on the app. I think it's called Luminary. It's on the Luminary app, and that's the app that Black Star uses for their podcasting, which sucks. This feels like 2016 all over again, where Drake had that exclusive right with Apple Music when he dropped Views initially, Kanye with Tidal, and The Life of Pablo for a little while. It's starting to feel like that's slowly again, and I don't know if we're slowly gonna see those albums like Down to Two, or even this new record with Yasin Bey and Talib Kweli on different streaming platforms later on.
The way I look at it is, this is strictly just for selling. I don't think you could stream it, or what? Could you stream it on Luminary?
Yeah, solely on the app. That's where it's only going to be available, allegedly.
And like, well, the whole story about why there's no more exclusive stuff is due to, and the artist that we were talking to earlier before, Frank Ocean, when he dropped
Endless
2 albums. He dropped Endless on Apple. He dropped Endless on a Friday and dropped Blonde on a Sunday.
Yes.
Like Jesus. Anyways, after that happened, just like no more exclusive. And now I see, especially with Kanye's Donda, is that the billboards won't even recognize it if it's not through these type of platforms, because it seems like the music companies all work together. That's kind of how it works. They just create the rules. So I think that kind of pushes artists. If you are a solo artist out there listening, you wouldn't want to go towards that direction, because you won't reap any benefits of doing that. So a Kanye could do that,
Yes.
Radiohead did that a long time ago, and it was pretty interesting. It was more of the same concept that Bandcamp does, in terms of you pay whatever you want.
Right.
Not every artist could do that.
Yeah, not every artist is on the level as, like you would say, Kanye, Radiohead. Not every artist can
Black Star.
Not every artist can sell their records for $100 or more. That's because that is a thing where if you upcharge, or if you feel like your music is worth this, that can hinder sales on and people getting that wanting to buy that record, or the accessibility to that record.
Depending on who you are.
Nipsey
Hussle did it. I know.
Yes.
Currency did it as well for, I think, Pilot Talk 3, if I recall. But yeah, it kind of depends. It's pretty much up to you.
I know.
But, that bit. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
No, all you.
I know that we're starting off completely different, but since we're on this topic, since you were an artist once upon a time, you still are an artist, but when you were chopping up beats and making music with your friends, did you ever think about how much of a price you put on your music, and how would you calculate that ever?
that's when I started thinking about that when I went to college and started talking to other people that actually sold music and also selling beats as well. Because it's not enough to sell a beat; it's like you want credit on it as well. But it's who you sell the beats to, because sometimes you just sell a beat and that person will do nothing with it. So asking for putting 30%, it won't lead anywhere. So asking for maybe 500, or maybe you ask for $50, depending on your beat selection output. That's something I did consider, but that's not the direction I ended up going, because I was too, I was too up there, my nose brow, doing that type of beat work, which I should have done. I should have made those basic beats in order to build my craft later on, as most concepts will be like, you can't be woke now. You got to be woke, 10 years after your career is popping off. Then you can be political, but we can't be political in your first album. Like, difficult. No one's really going to listen to you if you're preaching.
You better sell crack first.
Yeah, exactly. You got to give them what they want first. Give the label what they want first, and then eventually you'll be able to make your art. So, in terms of making money, that's something. If you're aware of the rules of the industry that you're in, then yeah. But if you know that you just kind of just sell beats to the local rappers, local MCs that actually afford it to, then you don't care. You're just trying to push as much product as you can, and hopefully get your name out there. Hopefully one of your artists as well will ask you for a beat again.
Now that you have the new iteration of Ableton, do you want to get back into some more beat making, or is that I'm just gonna stick to the radio and podcasting things?
Yeah, so earlier today I was telling Gio that I got Ableton back again on my new MacBook Pro 16-inch.
Look how I did that.
And it was pretty much a journey to get this computer. And it's funny. Just to quickly answer your question, maybe I will get into production. I think I'm more focused on design right now and understanding design theory with color palettes and fonts and typography and all the fun stuff. But right now I'm pretty much learning how to do video editing and motion design and UX design. I'm just doing a lot of design stuff right now. So to add music into it is more of a process, because I gotta relearn how to make music again, and that's difficult. But I just want to tell a quick story on getting this computer. I ordered this MacBook Pro, and we used to talk a lot about Apple products, but Apple products has been pretty bleh for the past couple years. I think our first episodes, we were talking about the iPhone, if you remember.
Yes.
And we were actually pulled aside. It's like, why? I think someone told you, like, why are you talking about iPhones?
Oh, yeah, that was Bertel.
Tony.
That was
Bertel?
That was Bertel and Tony. They completely didn't understand why we were talking about technology until there was this morning show on Friday, and the guy was a teacher, and he was explaining to Tony, like, yeah, all my students keep talking about these new phones, these new Samsung phones, these new Apple iPhones, and it clicked on him like, oh, like technology is really important to this generation. I'm like, well, yeah, you got to know what you're buying. Like, a lot of this stuff is a luxury brand. Like, people spend a lot of money on this stuff.
It's a luxury, and that's the key word right there, because time is a luxury, right? We spoke about this many times before, and people, the listeners, you're going through it every single day. Back then, when you used to order something, it would come in 3 days, 2 days, 1 day, same day, right?
Yes.
But nowadays, it's going to take a little bit longer. That's just post-COVID, the way the trucks are moving, the way shipments are coming from. I've never really felt that fully. I understand, like, same day no longer exists like it used to back in the time, but I do feel like sometimes I would order something, it would take a little too long to get here.
Yes, you are notorious with that.
Yeah, and I did like ordering stuff because it was always cheaper. Amazon's one of those websites, even though I'm against them by their entire company policy, they do make great shipping
convenient
concepts. And it's just too convenient to ignore, and also the pricing as well. The same way people will go to Walmart, but I will never stoop so low. So I ordered this computer February 10th, right? And I bought everything maxed out. And just to quickly talk about Apple computers, they've been lame for me because I haven't found it any interesting new technology, something like interesting for me to jump and buy and spend money on until the more recent M1 silicone Mac chips that Apple has been creating for themselves. So, I bought the M1 Max Pro so I could start doing video editing, to expand Black Seinfeld in my own personal projects. I'm expecting it to come in 6 weeks because I ordered it February 10th. And, we're doing this episode April 13th, right?
Yeah.
And they gave me a little spread some time. It's like, yeah, it's gonna come between the 3rd and the 13th, and they charged my credit card. So all right, we charge you a couple stacks. So all right, bet it's coming through. I shipped it to New York. I'm in LA right now, so I was actually gonna fly back to New York and spend some time in New York, pick up the rest of my stuff, then come back. And then the next day, they're like, oh no, we push it to May. Push it to May 6th to May 15th. I was like, bruh, come on. I'm lucky I didn't buy the tickets. I would have been tight.
You would have been pissed off.
And in my mind, I'm trying to figure out, like, why is it taking so long? So I ended up going to Reddit and reading all these people who are in the same situation as me. Like, hey, we love Apple products. This was, for me personally, it's my 3rd MacBook. I create art. I create work with it. I have things to do. I'm spending a lot of money, so I need to...
This is a long-term investment here, B.
Exactly. It's all about the ROI. I'm trying to get the return of investment. So I have to start learning the product. So by next year, I can start making money off of it. And a month is happening. 2nd month, so all right, you tell me I have to wait a 3rd month. You're tripping now. So there's a lot going on, and it's pretty much about what's going on in China right now because of the Shanghai lockdown that's going over there because of COVID. Their COVID numbers is going up, and because they're more of a country that talks to each other, they're able to shut it down and work together. And it's like, hey, we're gonna shut it down for a month or two, make sure this is completely gone, then we're gonna put the lights back on. Now everything is slow. Now this is still a conversation about capitalism. This is still WBAI, right? I got for the people that loves politics. In terms of Apple loves to have factories in other countries, pretty much China, and because it's easier to produce and it's cheaper because of labor costs. And this kind of shows you the flaws when you put all your products, especially if it's a really good product that people want, right? People are begging for it.
Yes.
Like, please let me buy your product. And it's like, oh, it's going to take some time because we've decided to put all our hardware overseas instead of like the great United States that has a lot of land everywhere. There could be a couple of factories out here. So this is kind of biting Apple in the butt. I know maybe a year or two ago, they were saying like, oh, they have a factory in Texas that was just building iPads and other smaller products. And I thought that was just nonsensical. It's like, if you're not bringing like the big boys, well, what's the point of having that factory then?
That's fair. That's definitely fair. And now I am similar to, I'm going through what you're going through similarly. I should have bought my MacBook about a week ago because that was when they were still available in stores. The one that I wanted, which was the terabyte hardware storage. But I wanted to wait it out just a little bit longer so I can get my Apple Card, so I can use that Apple Card, pay monthly for that MacBook, build up more credit, because it's always good to have 2 credit cards, people, one MasterCard and one Visa. So once I finally got that MasterCard that got in, I'm like, okay, cool. Let me just go to the App Store real quick, buy what I need to buy. The accessories were there, no problem. It actually came to my house this week. But that MacBook that I wanted, which is the terabyte storage, which is the one that everyone wanted, not the 512 gigabyte storage, it is no longer in stock. And so I have to wait until the first week of May to retrieve my MacBook, allegedly, hopefully. Let's see how this goes. Maybe I might have to wait longer than May. But for now, it says May 3rd to May 10th. That's what it's telling me.
In my mind, I thought you were foolish to not buy it when we spoke on the phone like 3 weeks ago, when you told me what you want to do. And it's like, all right, yeah, go for it. Like, buy it now. But I don't know if I ever told you that you should buy it now.
No, you never told me that. What the hell, Bastion?
Okay. because my cousin went through the same problem too. When he went there, they didn't have it, but he found it in another location in the city, and he was able to get it there.
See, he goes to the other city. The only one that was available with the terabyte storage was all the way in the Bronx, and I'm not doing that to myself. I'm sorry. No, I'm not going.
You would have just been in the train for a max like 1 hour, pick it up 10 minutes, then go back home.
Have class.
My side of the story is, as I continued reading Reddit, I commented. I left a comment like, "This is when I ordered. This is when it's coming. They charged me. Like, what do you think I should do?" Someone commented and say, "Hey, I just bit the bullet and bought it refurbished." So I was like, "Huh? All right, let me check the refurbished store, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about these computers is they're still so new in the world of like technology.
They just came out.
In the beginning of their timeline, it's still very, very new. And the way I look at it, because technology is going to be very slow because of what's going on with the factories, it's like, all right, maybe they won't push like the quote unquote M2 product in 2022. Hopefully not 2023. So maybe this MacBook will be the top tier for about a year or so, for another year. So I said, forget it. I'm going to do it. I bought a refurbished one. It came in 2 days, bro. I thought it was going to come in 5 originally. It came in 2 days. These guys were quick, knocking my door early in the morning. I just finished making breakfast. Is this Sebastian? It's like, yeah, sign here. So, oh, okay. Merry Christmas to me. It's lit.
Bro.
So instead of waiting an extra month, because I got so used to the storytelling, so I got to go back to the beginning. I got so used to things coming immediately to my fingertips that I had to go to a used route. And the thing is, when I got it, it's brand new.
It looks completely brand new. I knew it did.
The person that probably got it probably realized like he didn't need this, and he just returned it. Or they do have a couple in stock that you just fixed up. Like, oh, maybe like the keyboard wasn't working, fix it. Maybe the screen wasn't working, fix it. Boom. And they gave me that 14-day return policy, 1 year insurance, plus I'm paying Apple Care, $140 a year. So if anything happens, I still could get it fixed. No, it's all about the parts. The parts are here.
Yeah,
like, they have parts in America. It's just like they wouldn't be able to say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna give you a brand new M1 Max, 64 gigabytes of RAM." That won't happen. But it's like, yeah,
no, because they have to make that. They have to build that.
You have to build it. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna fix it for you, or just give you another refurbish. So I was like, I'll take it because I gotta make some of this content. Black Seinfeld, the whole delay. I told you gonna start making YouTube videos. It's been 3 months since I told him that.
Yeah, TikToks, man. Bro.
TikToks, man. I got classes and like After Effects classes to take and stuff that I paid for. So it's all right, let's get this money. Let me get this money. And Gio, like, I apologize for not like jumping in and say, hey, you should buy it right now, because you never know what's gonna happen tomorrow.
Yeah, man.
And I felt like I told you that, but I don't think I ever send you that text.
You
I don't
never
think I
said
ever
it.
Said it in the phone. I felt like I was supposed to say like, yeah, you should buy it now because you got the base, and the base won't be here tomorrow.
Right. You never said that, man. You just was like, okay. I was just telling you my plan of like, I'm going to use it to build up some more credit, finally getting a second credit card, blah, blah, blah. You're like, oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense, blah, blah, blah.
In my opinion, I thought you said the week after, but it's been almost like 4 weeks since then. Yeah,
because what has been happening was I started saving up a lot of money, right? I've been learning the game, especially in corporate America, of like, getting a lot of money from people, okay? So I've been saving up money there. I've been getting more money here at BAI doing this engineering thing, and then I've been getting money from the main job. So all this money started coming in immediately. So I'm like, oh, damn, well, I don't want to spend anything yet. Let me go get this Apple card too, just to build up credit, and so I can use that Apple card, say, and get 3% money back on it, blah, blah, blah. I get to build more credit. It's a MasterCard, Goldman Sachs. Hey, everything is going peachy, right? Let me use that to get it, because I was looking online on Apple for like a good 2-3 weeks, and they had the one that I wanted still, right? But the moment I got that Apple card, none was available except for the one over in the Bronx. And I'm like, damn it. This would happen to me. This would happen. Yeah, I deserve it.
Yeah,
I get it. I get it.
Hey, I'm sorry to, you know, to see that. It's sad to see, but at the same time, this is kind of what happens when we get this luxury and we got so used to it. Then the pandemic hits. It's been 2 years since then, and we're still going through the changes because apparently our supply chain isn't as theoretically good as we thought it was for it to crumble down in the day. So here we are, you know, complaining about wanting to buy things, yet they raise the prices and the inflation's going on. So
right. And I completely understand that this is 100% first world problems, because Bastion was like, yo, why don't you just get the 512 gigabytes? I'm like, why don't you get the 512? You ain't get that. No, I want the terabyte, okay? That is the standard now. I want the terabyte. No. But I understand this is definitely some first world problems, people. I understand inflation's going on. Lockdown is happening again, like in places like Philly. I get it, okay? I 100% understand.
Hey, I totally get it. You know, first world problem, yes, but I'm pretty sure the world is going through it, but on different scales.
Yeah.
It's not about like, oh, I didn't get my expensive computer, but it could be like, you know, medicine. They're not certain, like a lot of countries never got their vaccines still.
Yeah. Like,
right, and they just completely gave up on it. It's like, you know, we get it when they'll tell us the formula for it.
yeah, I told you that last week.
Yeah, we're just going to completely skip on getting the vaccines. Like, you know, we'll deal with it.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, let's
happy.
get into the...
I'm sorry. I just want to say I'm happy you got your new MacBook. Hope you enjoy it. I know it's been a long road, but here you are now. It's in your hands, and do you have like a full review of it yet, or are we gonna wait like a week so you can really dive your fingers into it?
No, well, I've been watching a lot of videos. I kind of did some small projects with it already. Download like every single software I need. But I got the 16-inch. It's a big computer. It's mad wide for no reason. Yeah, I like it a lot. It's heavy as hell, but I don't know if I could really walk around with my book bag like that. That's the only flaw. I think that's why you wanted to go with the 14-inch.
Yes, I wanted to put it in my backpack.
But so far, I like it a lot. It's kind of what I've been waiting for like maybe 2 years, because I was kind of pushed away from the iMac. So yeah.
I understand, Doc. Well, yes, Bastion. Now we could get into the first song of the week, man. What would you like for me to play? What would you like the listeners to listen to right now?
So let's get into something fun. An album I'm going to talk about later today. It's called No Singles with Wiz Khalifa, K.R.I.T Big K.R.I.T.
There you go.
Girl Talk, and Smoke DZA.
No singles.
Goes.
It's the Tailored, you bastards. Taylor gang. You already know. Man, 11 years of Wiz Khalifa in the limelight, in the mainstream. Bastion, did you check out that Wiz Khalifa documentary, Still Tailored, that discussed the whole rise of Taylor gang? No papers. Rolling papers. Yeah. Have you seen it?
Nah. Interesting. I didn't know there was a documentary about that.
Yeah,
I haven't paid attention to Wiz Khalifa. Every now and then, if he trends on Twitter, I see it, but I haven't listened to his projects like that.
You need to stop that, Bastion, because you got to give Wiz Khalifa his flowers, okay? Because
I always do.
In that blog era, Bastion, you already know Wiz Khalifa was one of the forefathers. He was one of the front runners during that
Rolling,
era.
man.
Exactly.
Burn After Rolling.
Yes.
And that's like one of my favorite mixtapes by him.
Christian OJ.
He's the first person I realized that could rap on pop beats perfectly. And it's like, why is this good?
We're done, but it's not over. Starting again. To the end, but I'm sorry.
Every time I listen to his music, I remember when I was young and just listening to it, it's like, wow, this should be corny, but this is awesome. I don't know, man.
There was
to this day.
There was a section of people who did think Wiz Khalifa was corny for that, but I'm happy that was only just a small minority, because I thought it was incredible. And
the non-paying minority, that's what it is. So it don't really matter.
And the lasting impact Wiz Khalifa had, everyone had the freaking the dyed streak in their hair at one point. I remember that. They had camo shorts. Everyone was real skinny at one point. I saw a lot of people started picking up skateboards. That was an interesting era back in 2010, 2011, 2012.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. So Gio, what's been going on with you? I'm like I said, I'm in LA. I'm dealing with my own personal LA problems, but the other day, I'm looking on my phone and Brooklyn is trending. I was like, why is the city trending? Then you started sending me stuff, and I started looking. Because I would wake up like 3 hours later from everybody else.
Right.
So the time it's popping over there, and like I wake up, it's like, it's already 10, 11 o'clock in New York. The whole city's
everyone's up. Bastion,
up.
It's been an interesting 3 days, to say the least. Well, not interesting. Everyone has been on high alert. So for those of you who don't know, which y'all are on the East Coast, a lot of our listeners are on the East Coast, so you already know, but to inform the good brother Bastion over here, who's on the West Coast, shout out to all of our West Coast listeners. See y'all over there in San Jose and LA. We see y'all. We see y'all in Oakland. We still see y'all. Basically, Brooklyn was trending because there was a mass shooting that happened around Sunset Park in Brooklyn. That's around the N train, the D train, the R train, around 36th Street, which is a major hub on that line. That's a major transferring hub on that line. So basically what happened was there was a gentleman that was dressed up in the MTA construction garb, right? He had a bag with him. He was in the train. Someone asked him what was in the bag. Apparently there were some smoke grenades, smoke bombs. Someone asked him what it was. He opened fired. He had a semi-automatic 9mm on him, let off around 30 plus shots. 20 people got injured. Around 10 people got shot. The smoke bomb went off on that train as well. Pandemonium happened. Now, while this happened, Bastion, this was like 8:30. I'm already at work. Like, I already made it to work. And so my boss started talking to me about it, and then some of my clients started coming in and they started talking about it. And I'm like, damn, like this is real, because all I heard initially was people were shot on the train. That was it. There was nothing about a bomb yet. And so I go to my good old trusty phone and I go on Twitter to see what's actually happening. And once I saw there was a bomb, I'm like, oh no. I'm thinking the worst, right? Because bomb, New York, train, that triggers people immediately. You go back to 21 years ago immediately when you hear those things, because automatically you think it's terroristic. It's a terroristic threat.
3, yeah.
Exactly. And so more information's coming out, and everyone in New York is on edge. And I remember leaving that day, going back to the train, because I still have to take the train to get back. Everyone was on edge. Trains was pretty empty during rush hour, which is very telling. There was a major spike in the Uber rates, the Lyft rates, because the algorithm doesn't know that this tragedy happened. The algorithm just knows, a lot more people are using this app more than usual at this time. So of course, when that happens, there's going to be a fare hike in both of these apps. So people are tweeting at Uber talking about, hey, you should lower these fares right now because some real issues going on right now. And so me being me and seeing all this stuff, my manager, she went to like John Jay, so she already knows, like, she's into like criminal justice stuff, and so she wouldn't keep the freaking news off. Like, the news was on all day for her, and I'm like, yo, can you please like take this off? I really don't want to see this right now, because like it bothers me, like it affects me. It's like I literally just go back to being 6 years old, seeing the World Trade Centers just collapsing all the time. So I didn't want to see it. I normally just get my news from Twitter, because I feel like Twitter can be a double-edged sword where you can get really good information of people who are actually there at the moment, but also you can just get like dumb, stupid takes. So it's definitely a pick your poison when it comes to Twitter. You have to know who to follow, what sources to trust, the people who are actually from the area and who isn't trolling, people who aren't just making crap up. And so
the positivity and the negativity of like crowdsourcing.
Exactly. And that's the internet, unfortunately, right? And so once they said, "Oh, we have someone, not a suspect yet, but a person of interest," right? They gave a description of the gunman, right? And so my immediate first thought, Bastion, I'm sorry I have to say this. Well, I'm not really sorry, but my first immediate reaction is, I hope he's not black. And I hate the fact that my mind immediately has to go to that, because I know if that's the case, then that shifts everything. It shouldn't, but the topic of race is gonna come up immediately if this person is black. Once they said black man 5'5", I'm like, damn it. All right. I already knew exactly where this was going, right? But then information started coming out. I know you don't believe this, Bastion, but I'm sorry, this is true. They found the dude's credit card in the train. A smoke bomb went off, Bastion. You can't see with the smoke bomb. So apparently they found the person of interest. First off, the person of interest credit card. They found out who it was, James Frank, and of course, immediately people on Twitter went to do some researching, and apparently they found his Facebook and his YouTube. And looking into the background of this gentleman, once I saw the very pro-black political ideology,
Black nationalism,
Elijah Muhammad, of course, Malcolm X, I thought, oh damn, we're screwed. BLM. I'm like, we're screwed. All right. Far left, you got this. Anthony Nagao, I see you. All right, we're good. All right, we're done. He's screwed.
Far right.
We're screwed. Oh, we're super screwed. Are you crazy? We're screwed. We're so screwed. They're not even going to mention the videos where he's talking about his PTSD. No, we are screwed right now. They're going to have a field day with this. And of course, you know me, because my Twitter is different, okay? I get news from the right and the left. Oh, the right was having a field day. The right was having a field day. The left was pretty angry. I'm not going to lie. The left was scared. And then everyone in New York was saying, "Oh, so the NYPD can only track down people who hop turnstiles, but they can't find an active shooter." Huh, interesting. That's how New York was. And they hit Eric Adams.
Okay, see, that's what I was going to bring up, because we hired a cop, and the past month or so, the past 2 months,
he was home with COVID. He got COVID.
Yeah, that too. I saw that. After he went to like a gala with other celebrities.
Listening to ASAP.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I had to do it.
So what I've seen, as you're right, I get my news mostly from the left. And also when I researched what was going on, I did see a lot of perspectives, because the threads that had the most impressions, and that's kind of how Twitter works, were the more of the on the right. So there are a lot of conservative takes on like everything that he was saying and was spewing within his videos, and it was bad. It was not good. Yeah. And he did come off as very dangerous on set early in his videos. So that had people like on my side, like even me wondering, it's like we did an episode talking about COVID and something nonsense, and we got flagged on YouTube about it, because the algorithm was just like anytime you wrote COVID, they would just flag it immediately.
Right.
So we have all these algorithms on YouTube and even Facebook, and he's pretty much saying exactly what he's going to do without me, you could check it online, folks. like that's a red flag. The videos themselves are a red flag, something to like knock on your door and said, hey, we see you posting up these videos, we're going to do a full background check. Because earlier today I actually read he had like multiple guns, he bought in like a couple of different states. So this is things you check up on to make sure this person isn't going to harm anybody else. But that's not how the way algorithms work.
Yeah.
It only works for whatever they need it to work for. So something like Twitter, the way the impressions is, that's why there's so much neo-Nazis on Twitter, is because they want that type of interaction. Because anger creates interactions, and that's why we're going to keep this type of thing on the social media.
Also, Bastion, unfortunately, you know, of course they're going to immediately go to freedom of speech on the things that he's saying, but also what you were saying about, oh, maybe people should keep an eye on this person. Unfortunately, like and I saw this on Twitter a lot, police don't prevent a crime, they only react to when the crime happens, unfortunately.
Yeah, you know, it's just like the TSA. What's the difference between the TSA at the airport, right, versus the police station, police officers
in the police stations? Yeah, they just look for people who's just hopping turnstiles and going in between the train cars when they're not supposed to.
They're not detectives. They're not trying to prevent things. And tell me if this is true. I'm hoping it's not true, because what I try to do, like if this doesn't happen earlier today, I wouldn't even want to talk about it. Like you kind of have to wait 24 hours because we're getting so much. I'm trying to tell the news first,
right? Stories
that we don't know what was real. So something like the credit card, I like just found like this guy has the bag, he has weapons, and you tell me that he just magically dropped his credit cards. Like that doesn't add up to me. Still doesn't. But one of the stories is like they found them pretty much quickly, and then that's what I'm trying to say is like they found them immediately.
Well, there's
off of that, there's
different. Wait, I'm sorry. Repeat that again. They just found him based on just that credit card alone.
And yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
so they found the credit card, and once they found the credit card, they found with that card he bought a U-Haul truck that he got from Philadelphia. So when they were saying that he's a person of interest, right, they gave different states that he was connected to. So like he has a house over in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and he has ties to an apartment in Philadelphia. So that's why they started unrolling this information out immediately, because his digital footprint is very easy to find. Once they found that name on that credit card, they were able to find everything immediately.
So it kind of works just like the TSA in terms of you're only prepared for what they train you for, and no matter how much people they throw at a situation, you can't really prevent the non-preventable. So one thing that I almost lost my train of thought.
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
In terms of the technology, right? Apparently.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, as I said, we try to wait 24 hours before we try to discuss it on the radio show, even though we do this once a week on Thursday. I saw that there was like new cameras, and for some reason, the 3 cameras in that station does not work.
Well, Bastion, here's the thing.
Is that true?
Here's the thing with a lot of MTA cameras, right? So apparently, they've been installing new cameras throughout the MTA carts, but throughout the MTA lines, MTA areas. However, a lot of them, it's notorious that a lot of them don't work. They aren't tested regularly, and they don't work. That's pretty notorious. And that just goes to show how lackluster the city can be when it comes to, of course, us being tax-paying citizens, including yourself, and we always want to know, okay, where is our money going to? And they say, oh, it's going to stuff like this. But in actuality, when it's time to like actually see our tax dollars get put into action, these cameras don't work. However, there was a camera that worked at one specific stop where he was going through the turnstile, there was video of him going through the turnstile, and then there was video of him going outside of the train station. There was video of him like completely covered just in black clothes. He got rid of his the MTA construction garb. So I remember telling you immediately, like, oh, this is like something straight out of like Batman or something, because he has a disguise, smoke bombs went off. I'm like this dude watched the Batman or something. And I understand why you would be upset, because it couldn't be as simple as him leaving or just him dropping a credit card. But yeah, I think he's that stupid enough to drop a credit card, seeing how quickly they found him.
Yeah, it was very strange. Like I said, I tried to wait until certain news sources, certain people will explain like what happened, what's going on, before discussing it. But hey, if this is what happened, then
this is legit what happened. You did not want to believe. You probably still don't believe him. Like, nah, man, this is. Hey.
Well, the system half worked, right? I have to give credit where it's due. The system of if a situation happens, you do the detective work, you find who did it, and from there, the next thing you have to do was pretty much just a manhunt, right?
Yeah.
So what happened with the manhunt?
So Wednesday morning, that person, James Frank, he went from a person that was of interest to like a full-blown suspect. And so all of our phones immediately in New York got the emergency alert immediately. Like, it wasn't even like 9 in the morning. Everyone's phones went off. That basically the Amber Alert, it was one of those. All of our phones went off. Oh, okay, we're all looking for James Frank. All right, cool. So like, okay, now it's on, right? And so I remember, I'll never forget this, because I was having Taco Tuesday and I'm talking with my friend, and like we're discussing on when exactly they're going to catch him, right? And so I gave this dude way too much credit, and I said, I honestly think he's not going to be in New York when they find him. Like, I think they're going to find him by Friday, and he's probably going to be out of New York. He's probably going to be in like Philly or something, because the U-Haul was registered in Philly, in Pennsylvania. So I'm thinking he's probably going to be in Philly, and he's a member of the nation. Oh yeah, he's definitely in like North Philly or something. And my friend, he was like, nah, they're probably going to catch him by tomorrow. I'm like, nah, I got to give him more credit than that. Like, this dude had his own mastermind plan. But my friend was like, dude, he dropped a credit card. I'm like, yeah, but if he's smart enough, I think he's going to flee the city. Nah, my friend should have bet me, because he was right. Not even 2 o'clock came around. Oh, they caught him. Wait, what? Where the hell was he? He was in the East Village. What was he doing? He was walking around. Who caught him? This dude named Zach who works on like security cameras, and he was at this flower shop, and he freaking saw the dude and caught him. Wait, what? Oh, Zach's a hero. Zach's MVP. And NYPD ain't do nothing. This was all Zach here. Zach got him. Shout out to Zach. King Zach. Oh my, Zach was trending Zach was trending all on Twitter. Zach needs key to the city. Zach needs to be the new mayor. Zach, why fund $10 billion to NYPD when we just have Zach and his cameras? All the Zach praise went about. But also, here's another interesting thing that I saw too. And this is starting to be confirmed now on verified Twitter sources, right? And verified news sources. He told on himself. He called Crime Stoppers. The dude called himself. He called Crime Stoppers on himself.
Who's the dude?
Oh, James Frank. He called Crime Stoppers.
The person of interest.
Yes. No. He's not the person of interest anymore. He became a suspect.
The suspect.
Yes. By Wednesday morning, he became a suspect. Yes. He told on himself, saying, hey, I'm going to be at this McDonald's. He walked up the block. Zach caught him. Yo, that's the dude. That was it. By 2 o'clock. I'm like, damn. They better give Zach his $50K. That's all I know. Shout out to Zach.
What? In the Amber Alert, did they say if you find this person?
Emergency alert.
It was emergency alert.
It was emergency alert. Yeah, Amber Alert's when when a child goes missing.
So the emergency alert, did they show like a description if you pressed on it, or did it say like looking for?
Well, I'll
Seems
say
like
this. His pictures were everywhere immediately. And the MTA on your phones. It was immediately.
how in the MTA, like in the video stand.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. It went out immediately. All on the major news networks, all on the newspapers, immediately. Like his face was everywhere. Like it didn't even take. It took at the end of Tuesday evening. His face was everywhere immediately. Immediately, his face was everywhere. It was weird. It was strange, actually. Like, oh, they know who it is already. Well, they know who the person of interest is already that Tuesday night. Wednesday morning, oh no, he's no longer a person of interest. He's a damn suspect. He's the guy. Immediately,
Yeah.
62-year-old.
What happened?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The 62-year-old.
62-year-old cat, born in the Bronx, already has prior records of like firearms back in the 90s, doing all this crap in the 90s. He's been really quiet as of late, but you know, it's interesting knowing that he had like prior records in the 90s.
And what happened to the people that were shot? Are they all fine?
Thankfully, Bastion, people are injured. No one's dead. Thank God. Which I think that's a miracle. 10 people have been shot, 20 people have been injured, 33 shots went out, but no one is dead that we know of.
I did read that his weapon was jammed.
Yes, his weapon
while
did
he
get
was
jammed.
shooting into the crowd.
Yeah, it was a semi-automatic, 9mm.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a weird time that we're in.
Yeah.
Just going back to the response of what was happening a couple months ago with Eric Adams explaining how, the subway is dangerous, so he's going to add more police officers, and this happened under the watch. I did read, and I wasn't sure if he really said it, but it seemed like it was a fact that Eric Adams said he will now double the amount of police officers in the subway. Gio, how do you feel about that?
That is a fact. He, in fact, did say that. And here's the thing, right? The NYPD, right? This is a fact. The NYPD we have the most cops in New York, right? Throughout the United States, throughout the world. The NYPD is number one with how many officers we have on duty, right? It's not even up for debate. That's just fact, right? And I think with those facts and those statistics, I think that shoots us in the foot even more, and that digs even a digger hole for them, right? Because the major concern people have with the NYPD, especially when it comes to the trains now, especially when it comes to MTA, is people's concern is that the NYPD isn't as vigilant for when major things happen, such as this. They're more vigilant on petty stuff, messing with the homeless, people hopping turnstiles, people going through train carts. They ticket citizens on the most asinine stuff, but when this stuff happens, when this stuff goes off, then people are like, okay, well, where's the NYPD? We're supposed to have more police officers, right? We're supposed to be safe, right? Well, where are they now? I just think the interests of what it is that what they're told to do versus what we want them to do is completely different.
Yeah, I see that. I do think it's a waste of money.
Of course, people feel like that too.
But Eric Adams wants to solve a problem the same way a police officer would, but he is a police officer, so this is the solutions that New York is going to get for the next 4 years, in terms of more bodies on the street, more eyes, and then if something bad happens, they're just going to deal with the consequences. As I said, there was like 17,000 summons just based off like all the citations that police officers were giving in the
All
subway. And most of the time they're just on their phones chilling because, you know, the subways there's nothing happening all the time.
There's pictures of NYPD on their phones all the time, people. You've seen it, okay? You've seen all the dumb citations that people get. Listen, I take
this,
the stops that I get off, right? They're NYPD hubs too, right? They have their own stations. You never see them in there at all. Like, you never see them in there in the major hubs. You don't see them at all. Never see them. Never. And I think, you know, I keep seeing this all the time of how New York is getting extremely dangerous again, and people are comparing it to the 80s and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, nah, there's no crack like it was back in the 80s. Like, relax. Do I think crime is definitely going up, but I don't think, and I've said this numerous times on this platform, people are not addressing what happened during COVID. COVID is the major thing that happened that basically caused a lot of this stuff, where there's inflation, where prices are going up, gas is going up, people are out of work, but areas are still looking for people to work, but people don't want to work those jobs because they're not accepting what they're being offered. They don't want to be exploited anymore.
Yeah.
The homeless are being kicked out thanks to Eric Adams.
They're not even trying to deal with the homelessness issue in terms of even class, lower class, middle class, working class. We're all trying to deal with what's going on. So that $50K, $40K salary that sounded really good 10 years ago isn't looking so nicey now.
Yep. Rents now I work in commercial real estate, so rent's going back up to the normal price and even more now, because last year in 2020, everyone was getting the COVID discount price. But see, people don't read their agreements to these apartments and to these offices. And so basically, when the COVID prices were over with, and now that the market's starting going back to normal, they started jacking up the prices because that was the normal intentional price of what those offices and those apartments were originally supposed to be worth. And now that that's going back on, now you see more people, more gentrification coming in, more people getting kicked out.
Because people didn't know that the prices were going to go up.
They just didn't know how much.
Yeah, because there is something here. I actually did research on this too, because I'm in LA and I'm an apartment here. Yeah, and I was like,
I work in commercial real estate, man. Trust me.
Oh, okay. So one rule I did find out is that in California, they can't raise it past 10%. But in many of these examples that we're seeing and people are showing that the landlord reached them up, they always increased it by either 50%, 65%, even 30%, 20%. And that's a lot.
Yeah.
And that itself is a problem, because the way I look at it, landlords could raise these prices doesn't mean they'll find someone to pay those prices for a year. So if, let's say you're paying $2,300 and then you raise it an extra $1,000, right? Just to make the math simple.
Okay.
Now you have to pay $3,300, but you're not going to do that. You're going to dip. Now that apartment's going to stay vacant for like 6, 8, 12, a whole year, just because they've realized that most people just won't pay that price. But the question is, as they raise those prices for an apartment, are people going to pay for it? Are people from outside that city going to pay that $3,300? And I'm hoping not.
I hope not. Unfortunately, though, Bastion,
it'll bring the prices down. Yeah.
I hope not, Bastion. Unfortunately, though, due to, and I know we talked about this 2 years ago, the numerous articles of is New York dead, X, Y, and Z, but now everything is back in full force. Like it's pretty active now here, Bastion.
Active.
The city is bustling. Today's gonna be like 80 degrees for the first time of the year. It's hell of active, Bastion. People are outside, okay? I'm outside, Bastion. I'm seeing it.
Outside.
Okay? It's getting hectic again. And that normalcy that we were initially used to back in 2019, it's getting back there immediately. New buildings are being built. New stores are coming around. That's replacing the old stores that unfortunately, you know, businesses were lost during COVID. They're all getting replaced now. I'm telling you for a fact, people are going to buy it. People are buying them. Point blank, period. Unfortunately, it's unfortunate, but it's definitely going to be a thing, especially here in Brooklyn. You know how trendy Brooklyn is now? It's ridiculously trendy. I remember going to visit one of my brothers who's a barista over on Franklin Avenue. 10 years ago, it wasn't like how it was now. Absolutely not. It was heavily Caribbean, but now, bruh, it's unrecognizable, honestly. And
Yeah.
people are paying, you know, what once was $1,300 for a 2-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn. People are now paying what?
So Eric
3,000,
has a lot on his plate
2,700.
in terms of dealing with rent control, in terms of dealing with how they're going to start policing in the subway. So
It's not all his
crazy.
fault. I'll say that. You know, it's only been month 4 for him. It's not all his fault. It's a lot of de Blasio. You know, I give him that. I'll only give him that.
It's not even de Blasio too. It's also the city, because you could try to work with someone, but if that other party doesn't want to work with you, and you're trying to find a middle ground, aka Democrats and Republicans, it's just going to be bad all out for the next 8 years, and that's kind of what happened with de Blasio, because nobody wanted to work with him. No one liked them.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, oh, let's do this. It's like, we're not even going to try to find a middle ground with you. We're just not going to work with you.
Yeah, that was one thing in which Democrats and Republicans can actually like agree on, which I thought was kind of beautiful, but also really sad, but also beautiful in a sick, twisted way. That we all hated Bill de Blasio, so we all garnered around that, and I see somewhat of that already with Eric Adams. Like, people already like they're already, you know, going at Eric Adams, but I think it's just all a frustration, you know, of, you know, a lot of New Yorkers.
I think regular people are, the citizens are, but I think, in my opinion, we'll see how it goes by the end of the year, of course.
Yeah,
even next year, but I think he has more. He will have support with like the left and the right.
I just think, you know, people are just frustrated.
In terms of liberals, though.
Yeah, I just think everyone in New York is just frustrated on just all the stuff that we've been through these past 2 years. People are just frustrated. A lot of New Yorkers are now leaving the city. Everything is, it's not all peaches and cream here, but, you know, New York is resilient. That's what we're known for. New York City, please don't leave me up here tonight.
All right, you gotta chill with the singing. But you know who's not gonna chill with the singing? Our next song of the week. You like see what I did there?
I see what you did there.
All right, so the next song is by Snow Allegra, and it's gonna be called "Time."
That was Snow Allegra with Time. Welcome back to Black Seinfeld, show about nothing. And throughout the rest of this show, it's going to be dedicated to music, because a lot of music has dropped, people. A lot of music has dropped.
We didn't get a chance to talk about music last week, so
yeah, because what did we talk about last week?
we spoke about the Grammys.
Oh,
We spoke about Turning Red.
right.
And we spoke about WrestleMania 38.
That's right. And we wanted to start talking about some albums, but time, people. Time. No pun intended. So let's start it off, man. There's a lot of music that dropped, as we once said. Now let's start off with some of the bigger records that dropped, which also actually coincided with their festival, Dreamville Festival. D-Day, a Gangsta Girls mixtapes featuring all the artists from Dreamville. Of course, J. Cole, J.I.D., Boss, Earth Gang, Ari Lennox. First things first, I just want to applaud DJ Drama for the Gangsta Girls resurgence. There's a lot of rappers who, of course, has been influenced from the mixtape wave. The Gangsta Girls definitely is an intricate role in that. And of course, you know, during Dreamville Fest, which was also Saturday and Sunday, Drama was there. He you know, Tyler the Creator won Best Rap Album for Call Me If You Get Lost, which DJ Drama had a major role in that, because Tyler basically made his own Gangsta Grills mixtape, but he made it as an album. Of course, you also go back to, I believe, 2014, 15 with Childish Gambino with STN Kawhi, that little mixtape run. So I'm very happy to see a resurgence of DJ Drama and the Gangsta Grills mixtape series making a strong comeback into now what seems like just the mainstream. It's not just the small niche hip hop mixtape stratosphere. So it's really good to see that. So with going into this mixtape, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I like the first 3 songs of the mixtape. However, I feel like a lot of the tracks just feel like residuals from like Revenge of the Chasers 3. That's just how I felt about it with DJ Drama slapped on it. The best songs again were the first 3 tracks, but everything else just felt meh. But I like the fact that, you know, the Dreamville camp is still, it feels like one of those camps that like they collab together. They're like one of those like last labels that actually feel like a label, and they actually work on all of their artists and they actually collab together in the studio together, X, Y, and Z. Bastion, how do you feel?
I feel a bit similar to you in terms of I actually prefer the first half. I won't say like just the first 2 songs. I do like the first half a lot more than the second half. I do like the concept with DJ Drama, and even like looking at the cover with the old classic font, and it's like a Gangsta Grills mixtape. I thought that was it's not like a cherry on top of this Sunday, because it's just mixed with different flavors. You know, there's your analogy for today. My favorite song actually is Hair Salon. Did you not like that song?
Hair Salon?
Because I felt, with G Perico and Reason.
Oh, with Cause? All right,
yes.
So basically, Stick, Ghetto God's Lifestyle with Boss and ASAP Ferg, Starting 5, Coming Down with Ari, and then Hair Salon. Those are great. Once J. Cole did his little freedom of speech thing, I think the rest was just leftovers.
Okay. So there, I will have to agree with you. I thought it was a decent size for a project. It's 47 minutes, so it's enough time to listen to it again. And I've been listening to it every now and then for the past 2 weeks. So to the point, I'm just picking songs I like. And like I said, I'm a big fan of Hair Salon. I was going to play it today, but I needed something to balance out. After playing the Wiz record, I need something more smoother. Especially the topics we'd like to discuss. I like to kind of match the energy.
Yes.
So in terms of like D-Day and the concept of like getting a lot of other artists into it, like 2 Chainz was on here. That was pretty cool. Like I said, the G Perico verse was definitely my favorite verse in this entire thing. It came in with so much swagger, and it is whatever. Like these artists, like I like them all individually,
right.
And sometimes they sound good together and maybe on their own personal project, but as it's really difficult doing a collab project with the record label, and I never seen a very successful one. Maybe besides Wu-Tang, but that's not a thing. It's not a record label. It's just a bunch of individuals into one. So, you know, it is what it is. Maybe they should get like one producer to produce an entire thing, and then it could come out into something more crafty,
more cohesive.
Almost like Cruel Summer in a way, but even Cruel Summer had its flaws because it was trying too much. You know, we could cut our favorite songs and those are the singles, but once you got to the rest of the album, it was like, wow, this is boring.
Yeah,
I'm exhausted. After you pass Thoroughflu, it's like, oh, what am I even listening to? So this kind of falls into the same concept as like, you know, you could have multiple producers making the best sound. You know, the same as you said, it's just like the last project, the Revenge of the Dreamers.
Yeah, Revenge of the Dreamers.
Where everybody came and they're all in the studio and they're making music for the week, for 2 weeks and stuff. And then boom, this is what we got. It's like, yeah, maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe it's just call like a Quincy Jones type, and it's like, yo, give us an idea. We will throw records on it. If you don't like it, then, you know, bada bing, bada boom. I guess the best idea is like if someone could do a My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy with J. Cole and only his artist, it will work out. You know, produced by J. Cole only. Like tell J. Cole just produce your own beats and get artists to just write to those beats. If you don't like them, tell them to rewrite it again. And there you go. There's your Dream Chasers.
Ooh.
Done and done.
Okay. Yeah, I can totally see that. But of course, I don't think Cole would just take a back burner like that and only just produce if it's his artist. Like I don't think that's the type of cat J. Cole is.
But even if he doesn't want to produce, he can still produce in a way where you didn't create the first beat, but you see how it goes through the end. Because remember, even if you change the hi-hats or the drum, that still counts as writing credit. So even if he doesn't give a verse, he will still have production or co-production on it. Hence, he needs like the executive production where he just produces the whole thing for himself. And I'm just going to quickly look at the artists, like you get A-Rap Music on this. Trying to call out the ones I know.
Oh, the Dreamville artists, or
no, in terms of producers, like you got J. Cole production for Lifestyle, Chuck English for Hair Salon, no one like that. Jay White did it. This DZL, yeah, it's pretty much all over the place in terms of who's the producer. So if they could find like one cohesive producer for an entire project, I think it would have been a little bit more interesting. But you know, that's how I feel about it. Hair Salon's my favorite song. I love that song.
Stick is my favorite song. I think it opens up just the way we need an album to open up, full of energy, headbanging, moshing. That was definitely my style. Also, Lifestyle with the Boss and ASAP Ferg. I think Dreamville is starting to push Boss a bit more now.
As they should.
Boss is really talented, man. This guy got vocals for days. He's really good. So I can't wait to get a new Boss project. Dreamville has been dropping a lot, man. We got, of course, the latest Earth Gang album that dropped. Of course, Cole dropped last year. I'm waiting for you, Ari. I'm so waiting for you, Ari. I can't wait for the new Ari Lennox project. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. And of course, I said JID. Mm-hmm. I need JID to drop immediately. It's been too long now. It's ridiculous at this point.
I need some new flows.
I need some new beats, man, because JID has been killing every feature since. When have I been playing a lot of JID? Since like what, 2020? And I've been saying, yo, JID, this freaking guy JID, man. I'm waiting for him to drop that next project, man. I'm waiting for you, and I'm still waiting for you, and it's 2022, damn it.
All right, let's get into the next song.
Please, yes.
Neck and Wrist by Pusha T and Jay-Z. It's always lovely to get a Jay-Z verse every now and then.
Especially with Pusha T.
Especially with Pusha T. He is doing his whole campaign. We're going to get an album soon. What is it, this week or next week? Sometime soon.
Sometime really soon. We haven't heard from Pusha since 2018, since that whole, that classic. It's now I'll call it classic now, since that classic rollout with Daytona, followed by the unforgettable clash between Drake and Pusha T, which I will never forget ever. And the 4-year anniversary is actually coming up next month, Bastion.
Interesting. So Pusha T, he's your rapper's favorite rapper. He has the hardest bars. We know what he's rapping about, right? Always about that snow. And in this verse, in this Neck and Wrist, the hook is great. It's a Pharrell beat, and I just let's quickly talk about Pusha T.
Yes,
he gave you the hardest bars, and he just allows it to settle, and then he gives you the next bar, and that's how I took it when I was listening to it the first time. And I actually wrote down the last bar he said. Wonder where this started from. The facts are frightening. Richard Pryor flames gave birth to pipe dreams. Now we're here. That messed me up.
It's no secret what Richard Pryor used to be doing. It was no secret. Okay, he's talked about it in his comedy bits before. He was on that. The
thing about Pusha T, which I enjoy him as an artist, is that one, he's talking about like the selling, but he also talked about the people that use it too.
Yes.
Because there is a harm to that as well. But he was trying to eat and make money. At the same time, there are people being harmed out there.
Yes.
Hence, he talks about the game, snitching, going to jail,
right,
and stealing from your friends. So that's Pusha T in a nutshell. If you were to write a movie, I think Snowfall will pretty much be the TV show.
Definitely.
If you were to describe it, something consistent to it.
Yes, it's that duality of, I'm really trying to make money to get out the hood, but simultaneously, I'm really affecting my people in my community. And it's not a good effect either.
And before I ask you your opinion, Jay-Z, he started with his first bar is the phrase "I'm on love." I wouldn't believe it either. I'd be like Jay-Z's a cheater. I wouldn't listen to reason either. And he said the phrase "I'm on love."
Phase on love. Come on, bro.
Talking about Phase on Love, who did an interview with Vlad, dissing Jay-Z, saying he was fake. And that was mind-boggling to me. It's like, oh, this is great. The phase I am on love, phase on love, genius.
Listen, all right, you cannot say Jay-Z is aware, people. This is one thing I love about Jay. Jay-Z is aware of a lot of things, okay? Sure, he may not say it all the time, but he knows what people say about him. He knows what's in these streets. So when he comes out and says something, 10 times out of 10, he's going to destroy you in that process, okay?
In the marketplace of bars and verses.
Jay-Z was hella braggadocio in this rap, okay? Because he also addresses the very common thing where people address, if Tupac and Biggie were alive, Hov wouldn't be around, Hov wouldn't be alive. You know what I'm saying? See, I was throwing in little bars there, and Jay was like, nah. And I'm like, damn, let's put this in
the commission. I was like, whoa.
I'm just like, listen, ladies and gentlemen, Jay-Z is 51 years old, going on 52. Okay. This man is still freaking reckless. Okay.
I think I read about the commission once. I haven't seen it come up in years. I think it was around when Jay-Z dropped the book, Decoded.
Yes.
I was doing more research, and they spoke about that. I don't think it's in the book, but that's the last time I saw about the word commission. Jay-Z
is 51 going 52, and I don't know about you, Bastion. It just seems like he's just getting better. He's getting better.
I don't think he's getting better. I think he's evolving with the times. Hence, he's still like quality. That's the way I look at it. Because when we look at rappers, rappers that once they hit 36, they're no longer spitting the same. Their air control is all off. They're not practicing it. They have a life, right? They have kids to raise and bills to pay, and fan duels to, never mind. Anyway,
BJ Armstrong said something very interesting in that Last Dance documentary, where he goes, I feel like Michael Jordan already knows how to win. He just lets everyone around him play, but he already knows once he's figured out how to beat the game, he just let everyone play, right? I think that's what he said. Quote me if I'm wrong. Am I wrong?
I don't recall, but
okay.
I'll let you swing.
Okay, just let me rock then. I feel like that's the same with Jay. Like, he knows the art of rap. He knows how to rap. He knows what to say. But I just feel he's just on a different league now. Like, I don't think he's even trying anymore at this point. I think it just comes natural. Like, he's just doing this. It's like it's like he's working a freaking Sixth Sense or something. I don't know what. Okay. All I'm saying is this just seems like it's very effortless when it comes to Jay and rhyming right now. He knows what he needs to do. He knows how to just come out with like just a fire ass bar, a fire ass verse. It just seems so effortless. I just want to know how he does it, because I don't think this is fair. This is cheating at this point.
This is our last thing before we move on to the next song. I think, how artists would do like an art project, like the same way Igor to Tyler, I'm just giving quick examples, and Solange for her last recent album.
Yes.
That's what 444 was. And it's like, all right, I need Jay to just continue making art like that.
Yes.
And it will just work. Because Beyonce's been doing it since her self-titled Beyonce.
Yes.
I think that's just art. That's why I always said, like, Beyonce always made music for the radio. But once she dropped Beyonce, that was like the first album I could listen to front to back, and I said, "Oh, I like every song." Other times, like you hear a song a million one times, and you finally, yeah, I like it, I guess. But for Jay to be doing that at this age, which is fine because this is his jazz. If he could just do art, which is jazz, not focus on getting a hit single, life would be different, So next artist,
the record is dope.
Another dad, soccer dad of Schoolboy Q. Gio, what's your thoughts on it?
I'm happy to see Schoolboy Q back. I didn't realize this came out until I saw a couple people talk about it, and I'm like, oh, yay, Schoolboy Q's back. How have you been, bud? And good record, good single. I don't know when he's gonna drop an album. I think I'm happy for it though. I'm happy for the single. I'm just waiting for him to drop now. That's it.
I needed a little bit more. I will feel more satisfied if this was the second single, but this being the first single feels a lot like Crash Talk. That's the way I look at it. It's like I was hoping for, I don't know, maybe you could go a little bit more pop with the hook, rather than it being a straight bar hook. Or because I like the verse a lot. I wrote in my notes like my knuckle game, my flip flop too crazy, right? Like he's pretty much doing this dad rap talk within the song, and it's pretty funny to me. The soccer dad, my real life way too wavy while I cheer in the stand. And he's also said, my mental of a black man hustle, I move at God's pace. So it's like, all right, I get it. Like he's able to do the braggadocious stuff, maybe a little 5% stuff. I feel that's like a very high 5% bar. We need more of that in rap, especially from our black dad raps. But it's like, all right, I get it. I'm hoping in the context of the album, it's going to be a little bit more. I'm hoping for a second single before I could create my opinion on it. But that's how I feel on it. I like the song. I don't care for it much as a single. Kind of needs something a little bit more different.
Fair enough. And now
I like Schoolboy. I respect
Schoolboy. He's a great artist. We got Isaiah Rashad last year. Maybe we might get Schoolboy this year. And then after that, maybe some SZA. And then after that, maybe some goddamn Absol. Absol, I need you, man. It's been a while.
Last time he tweeted, he said he needed a verse from Kanye, and that was the last we heard of him. So, yeah.
Kanye needs to stop playing then. All right. So Vince Staples, Ramona Park, Broke My Heart, new album from Vince Staples. He was dropping a couple singles these past couple weeks, and now he's here with the full album. My take on the album is, last year Vince Staples dropped the EP album, whatever you want to call it. Self-titled, of course.
That was album.
Album, self-titled, of course, and which was produced by Kenny Beats, and I described it as going out with a Crip. It's like having brunch with Crips. That's exactly what that album felt like to me. This album is definitely more self-reflective on the choices that people make when you're gangbanging, how it affects the kids, how it affects the black mental health. How black people view other black people by gangbang, especially during like the different segments at the end and the beginning of the songs, interviewing kids about, oh, my father's in jail for doing something that he hadn't been doing, or oh, people said I've been shooting at people. How do you feel about it? Well, bullets don't have names on it, blah blah blah. So I felt like this was like a more real introspective, like, okay, this is how growing up in this disenfranchised environment has shaped me into the person that I was, and here's how I'm trying to get away from that lifestyle, and here's how I got away from that lifestyle, but that still haunts me to this day.
I think you did the best description of the album.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed this album the more I listened to it, because you're understanding the world that he's building.
Yeah, I didn't like it first listen.
Yeah, me too. Maybe the first few songs, because it was the single, Magic.
Yeah.
And I like Magic now. I didn't like Magic when it first came out. I like Magic now. It's a DJ Mustard beat.
Yes.
But as I listen to the album, it's like, okay, I see where he's going with it. I understand where he's going sonically, because this is different. For an artist, and I watch a lot of Vince Staples interviews, he makes music, but he doesn't like me. I don't know. I couldn't really tell. Like he just makes music, right? If he stops making music and does something else, he will do that. For an artist that isn't like fully jumping knee deep into the game or like the understanding of music, he does a really good job making separate projects that sound differently, that feel differently, and have their own themes and ideas.
Yeah.
So it's like if only certain artists could do half of the thing Vince could do, and Vince is if he's going 100%, he's going great. So I can't really complain about like his ideas and his song topics of choice. It's all, and for me, I'm mostly about beat selection, and beat selections are always on point because the album sounds unique. It sounds like it's very consistent. You know, unlike one of the artists I'm going to talk about later, but it's like it's one cohesive project. So when you get to the end of it, and I think it's roughly 41 minutes long. By the time you get to the end of it, it feels like one long song, and I'm fine with projects like that, and that's what we need. And some artists should try to do. I don't think most artists could even try to do this.
Absolutely
but
not.
Overall, I do recommend check out that record. It's a great record.
Listen to it a couple of times though. You might not like it the first time, because I sure as hell didn't. I'm like, nah, this ain't it. But the more I just kept with it, especially during the rainy parts of the day, I'm like, okay, I understand it now, and I appreciate this record a lot more than I did initially.
And if you're new to Vince Staples, like you haven't heard his project, I do recommend listening to his project last year, Vince Staples.
Yes.
It's definitely different from his even older projects.
Yes.
Projects where he's more on like those house poppy beats, and
Techno
those are great
waves.
too, in its own way.
Yeah.
Because I was never too crazy on Big Fish Theory, but FM Summertime '06 was always great.
You didn't like Big Fish Theory?
Nah.
That was definitely like his techno, like James Pants Egyptian Lover type of wave, because he grew up in Cali, so like that was like the sound for a lot of like LA LBC type of cats. Like they like that sound. That's what he grew up on. So I like those sounds that he does. And then Vince Staples came out, the self-titled, which was a bit, it's more drum heavy. It's a bit more cohesive when it comes to just simple beats, you know what I'm saying? Just simple bomb ass drums from Kenny Beats. But I enjoy techno Vince Staples, because that he always talks about like, yo, I ain't listening to rap when I was young. My mom wasn't making me listen to no damn gangster rap. I was listening to Lil Bow Wow and techno music.
Hey, to each his own.
Yeah, man.
That's true. Hey, I love James Blake a lot. So if I were to make music like James Blake sounding stuff. Next record, Wiz Khalifa, Big K.R.I.T, Girl Talk, Full Court Press.
You can go first.
Now, as someone that loved, and we were talking about it earlier in this episode, the old hip hop era, because that's where I got my 2009 MacBook, downloading music through like Two Dope Boys and Now Right, and reading opinions, writing opinions. Wiz Khalifa definitely shaped that era. So did Big K.R.I.T, right? Currency, Nipsey Hussle. They were always there, always producing music. Now, when I heard this when I saw the project, I was kind of confused. I was like, the cover looked like they're having fun.
They've worked together a lot though back then, though.
Exactly, that's what I mean. It's like this is really, really old, right? So I listened to it, and to my surprise, I enjoyed the whole thing. By the time I was done, I was like, I'm kind of reminiscent of the old times. The way the beats sound, the way the hooks were done. Because sometimes, like, one old style they like to do with the hook is by the time they do the third hook, they will kind of slow it down. And they did that in
No Singles.
No Singles. And I was like, wow, this is like the old like 10 years ago style that backpack rappers used to do in order to kind of make the third hook a little bit more creative, because actually it's more of a chorus. Rappers don't really do hooks like that. So when I was kind of surprised, like, oh, they got Smoke Dizz on this, they got Wiz Khalifa, Currency on one of the songs too. I was like, this is crazy. I didn't know who Girl Talk was.
Me neither.
I think Girl Talk is the producer.
Yes, you're right. They're the producer.
Yeah. Girl Talk is the producer.
They produced the
Hence,
whole
that's why
album.
everything sounded so classic in a way. I don't know. Like you can only find so many people that will want to reminisce from that old sound and ask you to bring it back. And I'm not mad. You know, these are 2011 beats told by rappers in 2022.
Made new.
And it sounds really, really good.
I'm not gonna lie, Bastion. I started listening to the first track immediately that Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning, it was cloudy and it was raining. The moment I heard the first track, Mind Blown, I stopped it immediately because I knew later that day the sun was coming out and it was gonna be like 70 degrees. So I stopped it immediately. I'm like, no. This is not the vibe to listen to this song. I already had a good gist and a good feeling of what the rest of the tracks were going to be like just based on that first song. So once I got to work that day, I played that first track. Sun is shining, birds are singing, not a cloud in sight. I'm like, yup, this is a vibe. I know that sounds whatever, but this is a freaking vibe. This is something you stroll down to. This is something you bump in your car. This is something you walk around with in a park. This is the album right here. This is the album right here, and it just felt so effortless. You know what I mean? This just sounds like you said, the 2011 sound that, you know, we grew up on, but what's old is now new again. You know, it doesn't feel old. It doesn't sound old. You know, it takes elements of that sound, but, you know, they took it and made it new again. What's old is new again to us. And so,
yeah, and I don't need it to come back, but I don't mind if you like go back and like just do it again.
Yeah.
For you know, just for a tape or two, like just do it again, and that's it. And move it on, because it kind of reminds me when Tori Mwan made Boo Boo, and it was this old style, but it's more up to date. And I thought, no, this is probably the best, like his best project ever, but nobody was talking about it. I was so disappointed. And this is the thing about this album too, like the new rap fans that you hope will listen to it are not going to listen to it.
No.
But the fans like us, like I saw a lot of people cheer it on. You know, I typed it in. I tried to see what other people thought. They all loved it.
Oh man,
so,
freaking incredible.
That's why I think this project was made for fans like us. So
yeah, man, it just takes you back to high school, which is weird to say.
Oh yeah,
man. Okay.
Right.
Oh,
Sid.
Oh my God. When do you
listen to it?
When you put this on the list, I didn't know she came out with a track. I didn't know she came out with an album. I didn't know. Bro, this Sid Broken Hearts Club is everything you want in a Sid record. Her voice is so angelic. It's like angel's wings and melted butter. This is the record. Hey, I've seen the internet numerous times at Afropunk. Okay, I know what Sid can do to the women in the crowds, man. I see them rub their nipples to Sid's music. Okay, this is that very same record, bro. I'm so this is the same record, bro. It gets you in the mood. It gets you in that heartbroken place. It gets you into that sensual place. It gets you in that just butt naked on silk sheets sort of mood. This is the record where you want to burn your incense and be with that chick with, you know, that girl with the amethyst crystals and all that. This is the record right here, okay? With the third eye on her head. This is the record. This is the album that you want, fellas. This is it. This is it. Make sure you have all the purple. You know what I'm saying? Because purple stands for black royalty and all that. Make sure your house is right. Make sure your house is clean. Make sure you burning candles, okay? With this record's on, all right? All fire collapse. My boo Kehlani's on these records. What else hold on. Let me just pull it up real quick. It's short too. It's like 30 minutes too. We got Lucky Day, Shmino, Kehlani. That's it. As far as features go, the rest is straight up Sid. The rest is straight up Sid doing what she do best. Give this album a listen. Late at night, nighttime vibes. That's all I gotta say, man. I love this record. I love it. This is the one, folks. Play this for your girl.
Put it on my list.
Play this for your girl immediately. Make sure you have the LED lights too. Y'all know. Make sure you have the LED lights. Make sure if you have lights, make sure they're dim too. This is it. This is the one, people. All right, I'm done.
The next record I want to talk about is Fabio Foreign Bible. Did you check it out?
Yeah.
Yo, it is fire.
Listen. For the most part, most of the records are fire. Yes.
Yeah.
Have we seen growth with Fabio Foreign? Yes. Has it all started off with Donda? Yes. However, some of these records here, dog, no. It just wasn't doing it for me. It was not doing it for me. I'm not gonna lie. Why the hell are you sampling Ellie Goulding? Why you did that?
Yeah.
I didn't like that song at all. Like it was not good to me at all. I thought the sample was bad. I actually heard your voice when I heard this song. I just heard you go, you see, here's the problem with sampling like 2010s or early 2000s records. People don't understand the art of sampling. People just sample a record and it just makes you go, oh, hey, do you remember this record? And just put drums over it and call it a day. And I'm like, yeah. Basically, you came on my mind when I heard that record.
Wiz Khalifa record did the same thing with a Torn Mob beat, but they ain't have the beat wasn't necessary, you know. I didn't bring it up, but I felt the same exact way when I think it was track 4 on that album that we recently spoke about. All
right, here's the thing with this Fabi record, right? Because for the most part, like a lot of the records I rocked with, right? So I'll go On God, Fire, Through the Fire with featuring Quavo, Into Magic City, City of Gods, What's My Name with Queen Naja and Coi Leray was tight. For Nothing was cool. The Chloe record, Hello was all right. Confidence with ASAP was fire. The Lil Yachty record, oh my God, Lil Yachty killed that. And I didn't know it was Lil Yachty initially. That was fire, okay?
I always tell people Lil Yachty could rap when he wants to, right? He's probably one of our best writers right now.
And then
I give him credit.
Feel My Struggle was okay. World Watching, Bible Talk, because DJ Khaled just shut up. The Polo G record was cool. Everything else I didn't care for.
All right, I think I'm on your side with this. I do need a couple more listens, but my first 2 or 3 listens, I was like, all right, I like where this is going.
Yes.
I do think this is loud speaker music.
Yes.
In order for you to feel that beat, Mike Dean, executive, definitely produced most of the stuff. I think they say Kanye had an eye on it as well.
Yeah, I believe it.
I'm kind of happy that City of Gods is on this record. I feel like Fabio deserves to have this on his record, not Donda too.
I agree. This is the album bastion that we're going to be playing a lot of this in New York. It's going to be playing all throughout Brooklyn, all throughout Queens, just all throughout New York. Yeah. This is the record right here. This is probably going to be the album of the summer here in New York.
Are they pushing the song on the radio?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, once Pop Smoke unfortunately passed away, Fabio has been, slowly climbing up the charts, slowly like changing his sound. And in this album right here, I think like he finally figured it out. Like, okay,
drill, like gospel, drill, crossovers, just the perfect lane for him.
Yes, and also just like when he snapped on Off the Grid, I think he started realizing the amount of praise that he got for that, and he's like, okay, I gotta switch up my style a bit. He's not going the full Pop Smoke route where he was like producing like straight up like radio friendly pop records. But like he's found his own way in which he can get pushed more into the mainstream as well, and I like that for him.
Okay.
Just stop sampling Ellie Goulding. Don't do that again. that threw me off.
Lights. You're talking about the song Lights.
Yes, I love that song too.
The Kingdom Hearts ass record.
Yes, I love that record. So immediately once I heard the bells, I'm like Goulding.
Did you ever hear Lupe Fiasco's version of it?
No, he did a version of that.
I will send it to you later.
Oh, please do. Please do. I'll listen to this on my way home tonight.
All right. And the last record we're going to discuss before we end the show is Coi Leray.
Coi Leray, trendsetter.
Coi Leray, trendsetter.
I'm really happy I didn't listen to this. I didn't.
And I heard the record.
Yes.
I heard the record a couple times.
What are your thoughts,
And
Bastion?
Here's my thoughts. Is she an industry plant? Maybe not. I don't know. They are pushing her stuff a little bit too much. It's like whoever is on her marketing team definitely shouldn't you say yes to all the ideas. I think they should say no and say, hey, let's try to be a rapper a little bit before a person now. Then once your rap is out, then you could be like Cardi B, where she's just everything and great. I think Cardi could do everything now, right? Because she's able to prove herself that she could do everything. But like, let's take your time, Corey. Like, we'll get there because Coi could rap. She can rap, and she could rap. She doesn't have support from the internet fans, but I know she has real fans, and that's what she kind of raps about. And I'm still talking about it like there's a second person, like a manager, that's saying, "Hey, let's try this style. Oh, let's try this style. Let's try this style," because the way the album rollout came out is like a picture of her and the people on the record. And I don't like that. I really don't like seeing people on the record as your selling point. That feels like when Kanye West did the last call. This is something I remember as a kid. And I always used to think about it because he said, it's like, hey, the record sucks. We could put Cam on every song to save the record.
Yeah.
So later in life, sometimes I feel like certain rappers are on this record to save the record. So, if you look at Coi Leray's, like who's on the album, you say Nicki Minaj, 5 Young Ma,
Lil Durk,
G Herbo, her, Nav, Lil Durk, Polo G, Lil Tecca, Pooh Shiesty, Nicki Minaj again. No, that's it. This is the same song over. Right? Like these are all like the biggest rappers right now. And hey, one thing I would like to say, they didn't overshadow her in any of the songs. It was pretty equal.
Okay.
And that's what I did like about it. But my last thing to say before we end the show is this sounded like whoever was the main executive producer was like, hey, you should do a Drake record. Like the newer Drake albums where he just puts a different ideas where, some song, it could be like it's like a bragging song, then a singing song, then like a Jamaican song, then, a bragging song again.
Wait, she got a Jamaican song?
Yeah, man. What track was it? I think it's track number 3.
No.
So it's like, that's the way I heard it. And I was like, oh man, this sounds like a Drake record. But like Drake is cool because of like where we seen him come from. So he does these records and it's like, yeah, this record sucks.
He could get away with it. He could get away with it.
But it's like, I don't mind her. I think she's still like trying to find her path. And this is one of her, I think probably her second record, right?
Yeah.
Because the last record was Now or Never. So it's like, all right, maybe, this is going to pop off eventually. But I think she's a great rapper though. And I'm
a
very
fan
intrigued.
of Coi Leray.
And I was like, this is great. Like she could really out rap most of these rappers to this day.
She's good. I just didn't want to listen to it.
I just think the energy and like whoever was producing, the manager, and the things she's doing, it's a little bit out of control. But I think she will come out with a really good album that you will enjoy one day. But this is not it for you.
This is not it for today. This is for
everybody. This is for everybody and nobody at the same time. Like you'll find a song you like on it, but like will you listen to the whole record? I don't know.
Well, I mean, she got the Lil Durk records on it, which was out since 2020.
So that's what I mean. It's like throwing stuff at the wall, right? One of these songs are going to stick. You're going to like one of these songs, and you're going to hopefully keep listening to my music. So yeah, a Drake comparison is only for his last 2 albums. But anyways, this is Black Seinfeld, the show about absolutely nothing. We're on all podcasts. Just type in Black Space Seinfeld, and you'll be able to listen to our older episodes. We're on all social media, Black Seinfeld NY, Twitter and Instagram. Please follow, like, comment, ask us questions. on our email, blackseinfeldny@gmail.com. We also have our own personal website, blackseinfeld.com. Gio, do you have any last words?
See y'all next week. Take care. Peace.
Peace.
Love.